gold Mercury dime with a gold Standing Liberty quarter with a gold Walking Liberty half.
It's not a bad idea, and actually, it might. Those coins might actually spur that market, believe it or not, for that coin.
Which already, it's funny because the 10th ounce Buffalo did really, really well, but they didn't make many of them. The half ounce, people seem to really like it. I don't know why. I don't know what the appeal of it was. And the quarter ounce, to me, was like a no-brainer because it's almost exactly the size of a nickel.
Well, and that's the thing.
Right.
People are going to want to put that set together, and they're not going to have that nickel, and they're going to want it.
But it's like that quarter ounce coin sells for basically the same as the half ounce coin.
Yeah. Oh no, they're scarce. People. I mean,
there's less than 10,000 of them.
Scarce,
state,
but
and
they are
I want to say
expensive.
less than 10,000 in proof.
Yeah.
That is a truly scarce coin and one that is highly desired.
That's a good way to put it.
And finally, in the news, CoinNews.net is reporting that some 2016 Canadian uncirculated sets mistakenly contain a 2015 dollar coin.
Oh, so the Royal Canadian Mint's following in our footsteps,
well,
huh?
At least they can get an error set correct. They make the mistake on the coins. Well, no, this is a packaging error. It's not even. This is also a packaging error, but the mistake is with the coins. Released on January 12th, the sets feature a $2, $1, 50-cent, 25-cent, 10-cent, and 5-cent coin. The Mint, the Royal Canadian Mint, urges customers to inspect their sets upon arrival, and will gladly they will gladly take affected sets if customers wish to return.
Yeah, I bet they get a whole bunch of those.
Yeah,
back.
I mean, really seriously, even you, being a guy who poo-poos, modern stuff.
Well, I mean, if you get a bunch of them for the issue price, then heck yeah, you're gonna. I would sell them.
They caught the mistake pretty early. It's January,
yeah.
So there are not going to be many of them. And yes, for people to collect these sets, I think that it's going to be a variety set. It will make the price guides. It will be something that people want, and I think will probably garner a pretty good premium, even though, you bust them open and you can't tell the difference from them and any other coins.
Mm-hmm. And that's something a little different.
Yes.
It is akin to the set we were talking about before with the wrong picture on it. I mean,
yeah,
same kind of thing.
But like I said, at least this error is in the coins.
Yeah.
Not just
not a picture on a package.
I mean, that's the thing is it's like they said that the picture of Cumberland Gap National Park is in error. And then they didn't really expound on that. They didn't say, well, it's not really Cumberland Gap National Park. They didn't say it's this national park. They didn't really say. They just said it's an error. Thanks for that.
Maybe we should research.
Well, that was the thing is I researched it and I couldn't figure it out.
Huh.
So,
weird.
Thanks, U.S. Mint.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Personally, I think there will be a secondary market for these, and that returning one to the Mint, probably not such a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Matt.
Yes, sir.
In our feature segment tonight, I have been thinking about some of the longest running series, U.S. series of all time. And can you guess what the longest running unchanged series in U.S. coinage history is?
I know the answer to this.
Do you?
I do.
And what would that be?
The answer is the $5 half eagle.
You're close.
I'm close. Was it 2.5?
I honestly thought that our Liberty Head Gold was going to be the answer. It'd be a great lead into the segment, and then I searched a little bit more. The Roosevelt dime celebrates its 70th unchanged year this year. 1946 to 2016, absolutely unchanged, without commemoration of any kind, without a design change, an element add, anything.
Well, then then the 2.5's got to be second at least.
But yes, Second place is Liberty Head Gold, and although they had a minor edition of In God We Trust.
Well, 2.5s I don't believe did.
You know what? Don't know. Let's look. But with the minor edition of In God We Trust, the design went unchanged for 68 years. Now, one of the things that says to me is, it's getting a little stale.
Well, yeah, and the thing as well is they were the most prolific use across denomination was this particular series of designs. There were several different reverse designs that were on the $1, the 2.5, the 5, the 10, the 20, and also were proposed to be on two other coins, the $50 half union and the $100 union coins, which never made it past the pattern stage. Or even the legislation stage for the $100 coin. So, in preparing for this segment, I was actually talking to some of my regular guys that come into Coin Shop, and I was asking them. I was saying, what is the one design that was used on the most coins? And a lot of our guys said, oh, the barber design, the quarters, the halves, and the dimes. And I said, that's a good guess, but no, it's not the right answer. And then, like I said, the answer is that Liberty Head design that we see on Liberty Head Gold.
And these designs come from a time when the coinage of the United States was mostly uniform in design. The copper coins featured a single design, the silver another single design, and the gold yet another, and it was kind of the thought was that the uniformity would breed familiarity and therefore would become trusted among consumers. For a long time it worked. My thing is that after a run this long, it's time to change things up, and gratefully Teddy Roosevelt had something to say about that, and kind of ended this series. Oh, and by the way, I have to give you kudos. You are correct. The 2.5 never said "In God We Trust."
I didn't think it did,
and that makes me applaud you and say, you know what, you should go into this business sometime. You probably make some money.
Yeah, well,
But, in the late 1800s, the U.S. Mint decided that they could use different designs on various denominations, but it would take until the early 20th century, before this would become policy across all coins.
Yep.
And it's like that coronet design of the Liberty Head Gold. It was just, I don't know. It's like if you look at, the large cent design, if you look at the 3-cent nickel, all coronet designs, it really seemed to be a very prominent design in U.S. coinage.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
On what denomination was the first appearance of what we would know to be the Liberty Head? On what gold denomination? So which one of the denominations had Liberty Head first?
Which of the gold denominations had? And now we're talking about the Coronet Liberty Head, right?
Yeah, the Coronet Liberty Head, sure.
Would that be the 5?
That, I believe, is the 10, starting in 1838.
Okay, yeah. And then the 5 started in 1839, correct?
Yep, started in 39, and then the 10 started in 40, I believe. No, I'm sorry. The 10 started in 38. The 5 started in 39. The 2.5 started in 40. The $1 gold piece started in 1849, and then the $20 gold piece started in 1850.
Well, there is a single 1849. It's unique, but
okay, but yeah, for circulation.
But yes, and it's interesting to note that the reason why it was staggered 10, 5, 2.5 is because they didn't make $5 gold coins in 1839, and they didn't make $2.5 gold coins until 1840.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just
and one kind of cool thing is the obverse of this particular Liberty design was actually patterned after a coronet type large cent. Was actually patterned off of that bust. And the reverse eagle was adopted from the earlier bust series eagles that we see. So it takes two fairly popular series and kind of combines them together on one new series.
And I have to say that this particular Liberty Head tends to be more realistic. It's
I was going to say more lifelike.
Yeah, it's a more beautiful woman that depicts Liberty. Well, I mean, but I really like the middle, the capped Liberty Head Gold from, I think it's like what, the 18 like oh eight right in there when they got
Oh,
away from the
like the
bust.
turban head.
Yeah, what they refer to as the turban head. I think those are really cool. And to be honest with you, up until probably only about 10 years ago, I was completely oblivious to the design. And you look at the face on that, and yes, it's a person and it looks realistic, but it just doesn't look quite the same. When you get into this cornet design, you can look at it and say, somebody probably sat for this.
Yeah.
Somebody probably modeled it, and it's
Mhm.
it's it is a really, really beautiful coin.
Now, I would assume that most of our listeners are not like date and mint mark collectors of Liberty Head Gold coins, as it's almost an impossible set across any denomination to complete. Um, I can imagine that several of the folks listening have coins from this in their collection, but good lord, I could. I was doing my research. I read somewhere that it said um, Liberty Head complete Liberty Head collections are very rarely, if ever, attempted due to their challenge and expensiveness. Not, and that's not the word they use, but I think it was like financial challenge, and
Well, sure, because I mean,
because
how many collections are even possible?
there's not many with certain rarities. I mean, like you were talking about
Yeah, the
the
1849.
1849
The Yeah,
20.
you can't
I
have
mean,
it because it belongs to
yeah,
the ANA.
yeah, it exists. It's
Yeah,
out there, but
and you can go
you
see it
can't
if
have
you
it.
go to an ANA convention. It's there
Yeah,
every year
yeah, yeah,
and really cool.
yeah. It's like Veruca Salt with the Oompa Loompas or whatever she wanted. She can't have it.
You're watching too much Willy Wonka.
I have kids.
Right.
Now, one cool thing that I wanted to mention was there was actually proposed design for a $50 and $100 coin that would have bore this same design. The $50 Union was initiated in California in 1854. Businessmen in San Francisco sent a petition to the Secretary of the Treasury, James Guthrie, requesting him to authorize the striking of a $50 gold coin in San Francisco uh, in the same fineness as the regular U.S. double eagle. Um, they said that this would greatly have facilitated counting operations in California since there really were no banknotes of any denomination in circulation there. Now, James Guthrie actually approved of this idea and also, in turn, authorized or tried to authorize a $100 coin called a Union. It was introduced to the United States Senate by California Senator William Gwynn, and the measure actually passed the Senate on June 16th, 1854, but was then defeated in the House and therefore never happened. Um, because such denominations were really not needed on the east coast of the United States, where paper money was readily available. So once again, the people out west got dumped on.
Well, but think about this. Okay, first off, part of this story is talking about the fact that the biggest denomination up until 1849 was a $10 gold piece. That was the biggest coin that was made by the United States Mint. And as gold started flooding into the country, well, it's being discovered and dug up in California, and so it's really understandable why paper money doesn't circulate there. Because there's hard currency, there's gold.
Yes, there's so much gold floating
Right.
around.
So I mean, it's like, would you trust the banknote versus the gold coin? No.
Mm-hmm.
And in the East, where things are a little bit more, I don't want to say civilized because it's really
I
not the right.
wouldn't. It's not civilized, but less hard money focused
Right.
because
It's
there
it's
really wasn't a lot of.
it's more
There
societal.
wasn't a lot of. Well, no, not even that. There wasn't a lot of hard currency floating around in the first place for people
But
to
I think that there
have that
wasn't.
attachment
But
to.
I think that there wasn't because people didn't really need it. They had more trust in the financial institutions. They had
Mm,
more, whereas out west it was
It's
still
just a weird period. You got to realize 1838, 1839. That's kind of coming into the hard times.
sure,
So they're really at that particular point they were having trouble keeping change and coinage circulating
sure.
in the East. So
And I think it's really helpful for us to kind of think about it in those terms that you know for you and me it's like, okay, you go into your wallet, pull out a $50 bill. I mean, it's like $50 nowadays is like, okay, it it's so attainable, it's so common. Back then, I mean, $50 was an enormous amount of money. Actually, $20 was a pretty enormous amount of money. know, but with the advent